So, how do you get seller leads without spending a fortune? Without spending a fortune is key because right now you'll hear a lot about pay per lead, which can get expensive really fast for really not very good leads, is what I have found. Certainly, like anything else, there's a good ones out there, but a lot of not good ones. You can also do pay per click, which is well known to work very well. But I've also met no shortage of investors that were, yeah, they're like, I get calls from like wholesalers about their wholesale deals, and they're not very good. And so now the wholesaler's getting mad at the wholesaler because they just spent X number of dollars for another wholesale lead that they didn't ask for, and it gets crazy. So what can you do to not break the bank and get leads quickly? Okay. And some of this stuff is very basic, but it works and it will continue to work probably forever. So I'm just going to give you four options. First one, driving for dollars. Very simple. Very few people do it. Some do, most don't. Why? Well, it takes time. I got to drive. Do you want to do it or not? Yes or no. Do you want to find leads or not? Yes or no. You want to save money? No problem. Get in the car and drive. You don't have to drive halfway across creation. For most people, there's leads real close to where you already live. Okay. You just got to get in the car and drive by. I've driven around where I live a bunch for years, for decades, really. And just the other day, I saw a house that I hadn't noticed before on a street I've been on several times. And I literally thought, oh my gosh, I've never noticed that house. And it was in disrepair. So guess what? Wrote down the address and said, well, let's reach out. I mean, how did I miss this? This happens all the time. Get in the car and drive. There are deals almost anywhere using this method. Urban, rural, suburban, doesn't matter. Method number two, you can be a networker. And this isn't necessarily directly getting motivated seller leads, but I've found networking to work really well. You go to the network meetings, the RIA meetings, the Facebook group meetings, whatever. Meet wholesalers, meet buyers, put them together. You're basically a bird dog at that point. And the wholesaler's already done the work of finding a motivated seller, hopefully motivated at least, and you found two people and you put them together, you get paid. It's very simple. It does take work. In fact, all it takes is work because you're putting the connections together. What's the wholesalers doing? And who are my buyers? So you're building your buyers list. By the way, I find a lot of investors, when they meet wholesalers, they might meet like three or four. Add a zero to the end of that. Meet 30 or 40 or more. Because the reality is, within a year, 90% of the wholesalers you meet will be gone. I've never seen that stat change anytime I've tracked it. So if I want to have 10 solid wholesalers, I probably need to meet 100. And after a year, I'll still have 10 of those, and the other 90 will have gone off to something else. So you got to meet a lot of people. That's the work. Way number three, you can use software to build lists. Okay, and we love PropStream. I highly encourage you to check it out. We got a link below. Yep, shameless plug, but the reality it works. We've been using it for several years, and you can build all kinds of lists in there. You can do the list stacking and all the cool stuff I'm sure you've heard about on 50 other videos. But here's the point: you can build lists, and you can tailor it to determine motivation for specific types of areas. What does that mean? So for where I live, for example, right, we're in a more urban, getting closer to the rural type area. So I can target parcels that are like, hey, let me find out properties that have acreage, for example, and that maybe they've owned it for a long time and they've never built on it, right? Because guess what? Landowners, there are plenty of them that have land that they're probably never going to build on, and they have acreage. Well, who wants those? Developers. So if I can go find those sellers, market to them and then put a deal together and sell it to a developer, that can work really well. Okay. Now, if I go into a deep suburban market, the criteria might be different. If I'm urban, it might be different. Maybe there's a lot of condos, for example, right? And you might target some of those type sellers. Okay. The point is, you use a software like a PropStream or similar to tailor the list and actually think through who are the types of people that might need to sell in these areas, and build a list accordingly rather than just a generic list. Can you do a generic list? Sure, you can, but it's going to, take more hits to find people. The more targeted it is, the higher your chance of success, but it is more work up front. So you do got to put in that effort. Okay. The other thing you could do, I'll give you a fourth option, and it's stock. It's easy, but it works, and that's get leads straight from the MLS. Here's the beauty of the MLS. I know what some people say: there's no deals on the MLS. That's not true. There are deals on the MLS. Are they a bit harder? They can be a bit harder for sure. But here's what you know about MLS deals: the seller wants to sell. You don't have to guess the properties on the market. You already know they want to sell. The question is, can you get it at a price that makes sense for the edge that you have in mind, whatever that might be, whether it's buying whole, rehab, wholesale, whatever. Okay, that's the key. In all of these strategies, the one thing that is universal to all of them is you've got to be good at talking to people. And that is the most work of all. Not driving for dollars, not paying for the gas, not the networking, not building your list of people, not using PropStream, not searching for good opportunities on the MLS. All of that work is secondary to your ability to talk to people. So make sure, as you're looking for how to not spend a fortune, looking for sellers that you have the opportunity to get a deal on, the biggest skill that quite frankly may be the biggest money saver is learning how to talk to people. Invest in yourself, learn how to talk to people, because when you learn how to uncover motivation, as one of my colleagues says, manufacture motivation, find solutions, find pain points. That's your biggest money saver right there. Because too many investors throw away leads that are right under their nose because they don't know how to talk to people. So, hope you found this helpful. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. I will see you around.